With this video, we're going to take a quick peek at how we can graph a linear equation. So I'm going to start with a linear equation. Let's start with y equals 2x minus 7. And I just want to review that the 2 in this is going to be our slope, and that this negative 7 is going to be our y-intercept. Those are two very important things that we need to keep in mind. Now, with slope, let's remember that this is the change in y over the change in x. So if we write this as 2 over 1, should probably write that a little brighter, but 2 over 1 means that we are going to rise 2 and run to the right 1 space. The y-intercept of negative 7 means that on the y-axis, we're going to be at point 0, negative 7. So I'm going to graph this. We're going to start here, and we're going to plot our point here at negative 7. So that's the first part, is I want to plot my point at negative 7. So I'm going to say that step 1 is to plot the y-intercept. And that's what we did. Now, step 2 is going to move with the slope. So if I started at negative 7 and I move with the slope, and remember the slope's up here, it tells me to go up 2 and right 1. I'm going to go up 2 spaces and right 1, and I'm going to put another dot. And I'm going to continue to repeat this as much as needed. And some teachers will tell you to do this 3 times. Some teachers will say to do it all the way across the paper. Really, 2 will suffice. 3 is great, because if you can connect 3 dots, that will usually give you a good straight line. So then what I'm going to do is then finally, the last step here is to connect the dots. Now, when we connect the dots, we want to put arrows at each end of our line. And that's so we can represent that this line of solutions, is going to go on forever in both directions. So step 3, let's go back to red here. Step 3 is going to be to connect the points. And after you've done that, you have now graphed this particular linear equation. Now, let's try this again. Let's pick a different example. So I'm going to erase that, and let's delete that. Whoops. And what I would like to do here is we're going to leave this graph up here, but we're going to start with a new graph. Let's get rid of that. So let's start with y equals negative 3 over 2 plus 4. Oops, I forgot my x. Negative 3 over 2x plus 4. Again, we want to identify that the slope is right here. This is the negative 3 over 2. And that is the delta y over the delta x, which means negative 3 over 2, or down 3 spaces and right 2 spaces. And this positive 4 is our y-intercept, and that's where we're going to start. So I'm going to start at positive 4 on the y-axis. And the slope tells me to go down 3 spaces and right 2 spaces. So from the 4, we go down 3. 1, 2, 3, and right 2. 1, 2, 3, right 2. And I'm just going to plot those 3. And what we can do now is we can go ahead and we can graph this line just like so. And again, I want to make sure that I put arrows on both sides, because that shows that these solutions are going to go forever in both directions. And you'll notice now that the slope, which was negative 3 over 2, is negative. So this is a downward sloping line. You'll notice that the y-intercept was 4. So that's where it started on the y-axis at 4. Just like the other line, which started at negative 7 and had a positive slope and sloped upwards.